3, episode 6 of the Film Bros Championship Podcast. I am Tim, and with me is my co-host Patrick. How you doing, buddy?
Lord, please bless this Fallout boy. Help to inspire to the heights of John Bon Jovi.
That's like end credit stuff there, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't want to spoil too much, but yeah. What a
Fair enough.
What a delight this was to revisit, Tim. Thank you for choosing this.
You're welcome. You know, I have to say, like, I don't remember this movie doing very well.
Oh, financially, it did not. But go on.
Yeah, and I feel like it was something that was like a random rental on a boring summer day or something, or night or whatever, with friends and watching it. And I was like, this is kind of all right. I thought this was supposed to be bad, and like I remember really liking it, so I was curious to revisit it. And yeah, it kind of holds up. Like, it's pretty funny.
And you know what? This is the era. If you look at the other R-rated comedies that like came out this year, it stands out as being like almost like they weren't making teen sex comedies anymore. The American Pie fad had come and gone.
At this point, I think they're doing the spoof of it, right? Not Another Teen Movie came out somewhere
before
like
it. Yeah. So it's a
big callback.
This genre was done. We had moved on to the Judd Apatow era. This is where we're in the middle of.
Right. Yeah.
And so this was a fun throwback. Like, oh, this was actually really good. Like, this would have been like they have like this would have been amazing for an American Pie sequel, like, or version.
Yeah.
Of it.
Yeah, I think it basically came out in the wrong time.
Yeah, and they dumped it at like the worst time of year. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, and I think it was, again, with so many comedies that came out this year too. I kind of get it too.
Yeah, it's like hard to find a place to put it.
But I guess everybody's doing somewhat all right there, right? I feel like the guy who plays the main character there, Ian, right? Didn't he end up being in Oppenheimer?
Yeah, he was in Oppenheimer, but everyone was in Oppenheimer. I mean...
Yeah, all right, but still, okay, good for him.
Yeah,
it did well. It did well for itself.
Anybody remotely Jewish-looking got to be in Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Everybody remotely Jewish-looking and... Matt Damon and your boy,
right?
I forget his name.
Well, even our characters in the Whackness were in Oppenheimer.
Yeah, well, of course.
Which I thought was funny because it was like some people were like, "Oh, they're reunited."
I didn't even know that they were on the movie. I got to watch Oppenheimer. I know they probably don't have a scene together, but still.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So we saw Sex Drive, everyone.
Sex Drive.
Yeah, and it is an absolutely ridiculous poster that I think that's what kind of intrigued me at first myself.
It's just the
poster. Yeah, it's him in the donut costume, I think, holding a gun. So I was like, all right, this is pretty wacky looking.
Yeah, wacky.
Yeah, for sure. And so I guess this is my pick, right?
Yeah, you gotta explain it.
All right. So a high school teen is desperate to finally lose his virginity, and he meets an online girl that he's now going to go on a road trip to go to her to finally lose his virginity, and hilarity ensues.
Succinct. You know, when you use the word ensues, it feels like you're ripping me off, but I like it. Like I have a...
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know if you have a copyright on that.
I do.
But sure.
I totally have a copyright in the word ensues. Yeah. So we got our hero is 18-year-old Ian, played by Josh Zuckerman, the sweet, nice guy virgin dork who is fed up with himself and is willing to drive across the country to meet a stranger on the internet so he can finally have sex. And when we say across the country, it's roughly 9 hours of driving is what it's supposed to be. He's going from Illinois to Knoxville.
Tennessee?
Tennessee, yeah. I'm not sure exactly where he is in Illinois. I think he might have said outside Chicago.
I don't remember. If he said it, it was a throwaway line.
Right. So, but it's definitely like, I can assure you, having driven through large portions of Illinois, there's a lot of nothing once you get south of Chicago.
Yeah.
It gets rough.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I'm curious the route they took. Did they go further east before going down? Just so because of where they hit the Amish was just weird to me.
Well, if you go from Illinois to Kentucky, you will not find Amish. But what's really funny is that they shot this whole thing in Florida.
That is pretty funny.
So there's actually a lot of visual effects in this film. They're just editing out palm trees left and right. This isn't like 1970s whatever Halloween.
Yeah.
We can't pretend this is Illinois and have palm trees in the background with Michael Myers standing there. We gotta edit that shit out now.
Yeah, it would be a bit startling. Yeah, and I didn't notice any of that, so that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ian is like this super awkward kid.
Yeah.
And like there's definitely a bit of Jim in him from American Pie.
Yes, that Jim, yeah.
Yeah, like we're constantly, the hilarity is embarrassing things happening to him constantly.
They really throw him through the gauntlet in the beginning of this movie. But it works because you want him to believe, like, we're going to get him to this point where he's desperate enough to drive 9 hours to go have sex with a stranger he met on the internet.
Right. And I guess the one difference, too, that I would say from him is this Ian is way more physical comedy. I feel like a lot of things are like embarrassment with some kind of physicality to it, which I thought was pretty interesting. I think it helped the character.
I don't know. I just feel like you're being disrespectful to Jason Biggs when you're saying that. I mean, my man got a trombone shoved up his ass in the second movie.
That's true, he did, but I wouldn't call that as...
His name was Petey and he had gigantic balls!
Actually, I think he was good. Jason Biggs was good in doing a lot more than physical comedy. Like he was able to do a lot of things. I think this guy is more like something embarrassing is going to happen to him, and there's going to be some kind of physicality where he's getting thrown, or something's going to hit him, or something like that is constantly happening, and that's the butt of the joke. So it's like it's a little bit different, but I think it definitely helps you just feel bad for the guy.
Oh, you definitely feel bad for the guy. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
So like the first one you really like, Ian has been crushing on this girl he works with, Becca.
Yeah.
And when he gets home from his shift of dressing like a Mexican-themed donut mascot, handing out flyers and getting bullied all day at the mall, he finds Becca there waiting to talk to his younger brother, Dylan.
You know he's 14, right?
He's like, Dylan? My 14-year-old brother, Dylan? You know he's 14, right? Just like, oh, God! Like, I would have committed seppuku right there if there was a girl I was crushing with and she came to see you. Like, it's like, absolutely not.
This kid is like
no.
17, 18, right?
He's 18 years old. They all like graduated high school because he's talking about going to college next year.
Yeah, it seemed like this is summer, right?
Yeah,
they just finished their senior year. Yeah.
And I'll get more into him in a little bit. Let's talk about Felicia.
Really, I put her in side characters.
No, she's one of the three.
Yeah, she's one of the three, but I didn't consider her.
She has a lot of screen time. Anyway, she's played.
I guess I didn't put her there, but okay.
She's played by Amanda Crew.
Right, Felicia.
Right. Tim might remember her from Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
It's Ian's long-term friend who lives across the street. The movie sets her up as some kind of punk girl, black Doc Martens while trying on a bridesmaid's dress, but she dresses pretty traditionally femme throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, so, it's like they were trying to do this Avril Lavigne thing or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Right? I'm like, I don't know what this is about. Much like everyone in this movie, she has talked herself into having a crush on Ian's friend Lance, but she is in self-denial about being into Ian because she's afraid of ruining the friendship. Because she's a coward. Much like a lot of high school girls at that age, and high school boys.
Right. Right.
And she's also a bit of a psychopath, and I'll get into more of that later.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think there was much.
Well, she definitely gets the short shrift as far as the three stars go.
She doesn't have much of a character there. That's it. It's like the whole movie, and I feel like it kind of takes a little bit. Yeah, that's her arc. Is she gonna get over the friend thing with Ian? or is she going to get over that Lance treats women like garbage? And that's her the whole movie. And basically it's when you do get to this, it's like, I don't think it's till they get arrested where you really get to see more of this back and forth. That and the Amish party is like the two times we really get to see this. And other than that, you don't really get it. And she's also not really given a whole lot to do to be funny.
She has a couple of bits, but yeah.
But very limited. She's a way better in Silicon Valley.
Yeah, well, she's mostly here to be
humor-wise.
Yes. So at Lance's party, Felicia unknowingly pulls Ian away from having sex with the girl to ask if his parents were out of town this weekend, and ask if she could crash at his place because her cousin is in town and driving her nuts. And then she drunkenly confesses she has a crush on a boy and wants Ian to guess who it is. And Ian at this point let's be honest, fairly assumes she's talking about him.
Right.
And goes in for a kiss, and she immediately pulls away and says, "But you're my best friend."
Yeah.
And Ian tries to play it off like a prank, but like no one's buying it, him or her or anyone else in the room.
Right.
And these are the moments in a young man's life where he wishes he could like spontaneously combust. Just like,
right.
Oh.
Yeah.
So this is like rough. Like, yeah, like these are important plot points. Like, yeah, I get why Ian will go ahead and take this desperate drive.
And I don't know if we're gonna want to come back to this moment, but I'm just gonna say it because I did think it was a good hilarity part.
I do have that in the LOL.
So we'll come back to it.
Yeah, we're definitely getting back to it because I laughed very loud at that.
Were you mad though too? Like, go back in the room. What are you doing? Like, go back in the room.
Honestly, this guy was such a coward. He absolutely would have turned it down to begin with, just like he does at the end of the movie. So I was like,
yeah,
I would have. Yeah, we'll get into this.
The opportunity clearly was there.
Well, I'm going to get into this right now with this next character when we talk about Lance.
Fair enough. All right.
So last but not least, we have Lance.
Also, I put in side character. But okay.
Really? I mean, he is so central to this movie.
Yeah, but I don't. The story's about Ian. The other people are just the featured players' side to be with Ian. So that's why I put them all in that part.
Okay. I saved that all for like the Seth Greens of this movie and stuff like that. But
okay.
Ian's best guy friend, played by Clark Duke, an absolutely inspired casting choice for this movie.
Yeah.
Who makes what would have been like a pale Van Wilder character clone into something a lot more interesting.
Yes. I agree with that, yeah.
Right? Lance is like a child of divorce, and his dad is a dick who has zero interest in growing up. Which I guess is why Lance feels inspired to dress like he's 70 years old for like most of the movie. Like,
and he likes to wear ascots and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's a rebellion against his dad, who's immature dick, so I'm going to wear ascots and like smoking jackets. Like I'm Hugh Hefner.
Yeah, he's got a look, that's for sure. And you get it right from the beginning where he's like shushing an adult female.
Yeah, while he's changing.
Like in a store.
Yeah.
While he's getting like new clothes or whatever. And it's like, okay, wow, this guy's got a lot of confidence.
He's also a professional in the art of negging, the celebrated bro method of being a prick to women to get them to like you, which he apparently is very successful at. And later on in the movie, we find out he gets laid 2 to 3 times a week, which is hard to believe stat for a high school kid without a steady girlfriend.
And especially looking the way he does, right?
Well, that's what's so great about
not
casting
typical.
Clark Duke in this part.
Yeah.
It's like it makes you like instantly have more sympathy if it was been like someone who'd look like Ryan Reynolds or Sean William Scott.
Yeah, you'd immediately go like, F you, like, I don't like this dude. But then this guy, you're like, man, you're making it work for you. Like you're out kicking your coverage. Like, this is
you're kind of chubby, but like you're not fat, but like you kind of already have a receding hairline, but somehow you just are charming and it's working. And wow,
you go, man.
Exactly. You're just like delighted, like he's able to have this kind of pull. Like, bravo.
We all dream, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he's trying to mentor Ian in these ways. And he can be a lewd, selfish fuckboy throughout most of this movie. But he genuinely has the best of intentions. And he really wants the best for Ian.
Yeah, he really is like almost like a mentor. If we're going to have one this season, he'd be like the mentor. He's the one that's like there trying to teach him the ways and trying, like, he is never, like, he's always supportive.
Always.
Like, every step of the way.
And wants the
like,
best for Ian. Yeah.
Yeah, even towards the end where Ian's gonna, like, make a decision that is not gonna be great for Lance, but he's just like, okay. Like, he's always supportive.
Well, I love, my favorite part is, so Felicia has a crush on Lance. That's the boy that she was talking about. And Ian, being the white knight, goody two-shoes guy, decides to talk up Felicia to Lance to help her out because he knows about her crush. And Lance quickly dismisses it and says, like, no, because I know you have a thing for her. And he's just like, but she only sees me as a friend. And Lance, like, wins Dude of the Year by saying, like, I know, I still would never do that to you.
Yeah.
And he's just like, man, that's a good guy. That's a good guy.
Yeah. And I also like, too, where he's like, but, like, she's not gonna go for you either, dude. So you need to kind of get over that.
Yeah. He definitely gives him the
and it comes off clearly as like, don't worry, I'm still not gonna go for that, but you also need to stop. And he's really taking a neutral thing. It's not like he's being a jerk, being like, you need to get over it so I can sleep with her or anything. Like that's never that implied at all. So it's so it's like you have enough of these good dude traits to go along with him being kind of scummy towards women.
I mean, is he that scummy?
Not really. I guess not. I don't know. Like because he is purposely kind of mean, but I don't know if he really is. Because like even like the convenience store girl, he's like nice to her.
Yeah, he listens to her. That's his big move.
Yeah,
but he's doing it for the intentions of sleeping with her. So you're just like,
right.
Well, as long as he's not lying or
right. But it's weird because he's not really negging either.
No,
like, really
that was like a different move. Yeah, for him.
Yeah,
he's just like, hey.
Yeah.
So I don't want to spoil any more before getting into the laugh out loud, which this movie has more than a few.
Right.
So I'm going to give my score right now of a 3. What did you give?
Well, this is going to be weird because again, I moved
you only did for Ian. Yeah, sorry.
So I only did it for Ian, so I did 2.
Okay.
But so who knows? We might see side characters be higher because of that.
Oh, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I would hope your side character is much higher than if you have Lance in there. So
yes, and Rex.
Well, Rex is definitely there.
Yes.
So favorite laugh out loud moments, hilarity of this movie.
Yes.
First bit, I gotta ask you, Tim.
Okay.
So Ian is chatting with Miss Tasty via Instant Messenger. This is how
or whatever it is. I don't think it was Instant Messenger, but something like that.
It wasn't AOL. It was just
Right.
Yeah. And she sends him a bikini pic, and my dude looks to a Jean-Claude Van Damme poster.
Yeah.
For advice on how to respond. And what sounds more like a bad Arnold Schwarzenegger impression than a Jean-Claude Van Damme impression.
Does not sound like Jean-Claude.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
And the poster says, don't be a pussy, call her an ugly skank. And I feel like negging was never in Jean-Claude's arsenal in any movie that I ever saw. You saw more Jean-Claude Van Damme movies than I did. I unfortunately had to watch a lot more Seagal movies. Jean-Claude was your
I won.
burden.
I won that deal.
By far. I gotta ask you, you're more the Jean-Claude pro than I am. Am I crazy for saying that? Like, Jean-Claude wasn't a big negging guy.
Yeah, no, he wasn't. You're right.
Okay.
He was way more of I guess, a romantic or whatever.
That's what I thought. It's more like the French.
You do the little puppy dog eyes type of deal.
Yeah.
And yeah, exactly.
So look at me shimmy and dance, and I can split my legs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One of the greatest dance moves ever for an action hero.
All right, so let's get into the first big American Pie set sequence in this movie.
Well, are we? Yeah, before he wakes up, because I'm sure. That's
I have included in this. Yeah,
but there's a whole weird thing where he's like imagining himself like getting head, and then he's like randomly starts doing like imaginary bench presses
at the same time,
which is so weird. And I was like, what?
I've never had that sex dream, but. Rock on?
No, I don't know. That one threw me. I have to say, I didn't find that funny. I was just like an eyebrow raise.
I was laughing at just like the teenage id of it all. Like, oh yeah, he's strong and he's getting off at the same time.
Right. I thought the sequence after.
Well, no, definitely
morning,
the sequence after is what it all gets into.
That is where it gets real.
So my guy wakes up from this dream, and discovers it was a wet dream. And he's discussing with himself and tries to hide this development from his younger brother, who he shares a room with, Dylan. Yeah. And he tosses extremely soiled underwear. Seriously.
Which is kind of insane.
The movie makes it seem like he nutted like a horse. He tries to
really does. Because it makes the sound. Makes like the sound, you know?
He tries to throw the soiled underwear across the room, and he misses the hamper by a little bit. And that's when Ian's brother, Rex, bursts into the room and tells him he has to get up right now if he wants to ride to work. And when Ian doesn't get up right away because he's half naked, Rex tries to pull the sheets off and is about to freak out about seeing his brother half naked when his dad walks into the room unannounced and says, I got great news. I'm engaged to his girlfriend, Karen, who also comes into the room now. And Rex and Dylan rush to hug their new stepmom and congratulate her. Welcome to the family. And everyone's happy except for Ian, who is still in bed half naked. And his dad's like kind of getting upset. He's like, Rex, Ian, why don't you come on over and hug your new stepmom or whatever? And Rex is just smiling, enjoying this. He's like, come on. And then Karen calms him down and says, you have to give him some time. And then she gets upset and starts to cry and leave the room. But she slips on Ian's spunk-filled underwear. And then Rex is like, what smells like jizz? And there's a quick shot of Ian just like on his face, like, oh.
It's fun. It is rapid fire sometimes from Rex. With his lines. It's kind of insane. And I have to say, this is of the era where everybody would make insults with using gay slurs and stuff like that too.
Yeah. Well,
so it's hard to repeat them all.
Right, but it's 2008, so we're, Obama is on the verge of getting elected. So we're at this point where we're not totally cool with gay marriage as a country, but we're really close to warming up to it. Right. And so we know this character is not good. Right. And the movie knows it too. Right. Which is a huge step up in the culture. So, but early warning that Rex's casual homophobia is a clue that he is actually a closeted individual is him giving Ian a pep talk while driving him to work, that he's worried about Ian is turning gay since he's never seen him with a chick. And he says, look, every guy has a fantasy about another guy, but you gotta bury that shit. This is America, goddammit. And then I love that he's still kind of a brother to him. And Ian's telling him that I have met a girl, that she's online. He's like, what? Have you ever seen Dateline? And you know what, Ian? That's some good goddamn advice. Yeah. And Rex is right.
Yep.
So
doesn't he have I forget how it goes. There's some kind of a line, and he's trying to warn him, you gotta do this or that, because if you don't, that's how people become gay. And then Ian's like, I don't think that's how that works.
Yeah, no, the movie knows his homophobia is bad and calls him out on it constantly, which is does not happen 7 years ago. In the movies in the timeline. So, like I said, a huge step up in the timeline. I mean,
yeah.
When did 40-Year-Old Virgin come out?
I also
where, 3 years ago, 40-Year-Old Virgin has that, I know you're gay.
Right.
It wouldn't fly in this movie. So it's culture is moving so fast at this point.
Yeah. I do too where he takes, when he finds out that he's half naked, by the way, where he's what are you, free-balling it? The delivery from Marsden in this movie is so good.
Marsden's a treasure in this movie.
Yeah, and then now Clay Aiken, and then he punches him, and there's just so many it's one after another, and that's all before they get into the car.
All right. So when Ian gets to work at the mall donut shop, the movie starts pandering to me directly by playing The Flies Got You Where I Want You.
Yeah.
A song that will always remind me of Katie Holmes looking unbelievable while grooving to the song on a cliff. Anyway.
Oh yeah. Well, then they're all jumping off the cliff. It's a good music video, actually.
Yeah, like Lemmings. Like, if Katie Holmes was dancing seductively on a cliff, I would also run off it like a lemming.
I want you.
Anyway, I appreciated this movie getting into the correct frame of mind of a teenage boy. At that age, we have a hyper awareness for anything even remotely sexually appealing, and even the most benign feminine shit can turn us on. It's like a spidey sense we get.
Right.
But we struggle to maintain any coherent thoughts while receiving the information. It's not a great superpower, but we have it. So the song is playing over my dude just noticing everything.
Everything.
A woman showing a little bit of cleavage while fixing her shoe strap. A whale tails everywhere. Miss you thongs and low-rise jeans. Please come back someday.
It was of an era.
It was. Bra strap being pulled up. Hair being chewed on. Just made me laugh. Like, yep. Okay. Absolutely. I remember this.
Yeah. Everything.
It's like, this is correct.
Yep.
I shouldn't laugh at it, but a 12-inch black dildo attached to a donut costume got me.
Yeah, no, that was kind of funny, and especially with him going up to the gentleman and his daughter and
hey, sweetie, I've got something yummy for you.
Yeah, and then he goes flying.
Yeah, the dad knocks him down a flight of stairs. I don't remember mall bullies being a thing, but I also didn't work in a mall, so maybe it was.
I guess the mall was a different atmosphere back in the day in general. Now they're like basically ghost towns.
Yeah.
But,
and this is where
I also, by the way, when Rex drops him off, the line where he's like, "Don't come home any gayer than you are." I just
I think I missed that one. That's good.
Yeah, it's so funny. I don't know.
This is where you realize, by the way, that the dildo is on there again because this has apparently happened to him more than once. Our dude Ian is just having a rough go of it lately.
In between here, by the way, there's like one of the few funny moments from Felicia.
This is what I was going to say next. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So Felicia's cousin and bride-to-be says there's still time to get a boob job before the wedding, and offers to have her fiance pay for it. It's no big deal. He's a dentist. Ah! And at this point, I'm thinking, wow, that's really fucked up. But then Felicia speaks up to the seamstress adjusting her dress and says, "Excuse me, do you have a pair of scissors?" It's like, "What for, sweetie? Do you have a stringy?" "Oh, no, I was just hoping you could just slip my wrist for me real quickly." And then the seamstress deadpans like, "My husband killed himself last Christmas."
Yeah, that's good. That's pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, shit. That was great.
And it's a bummer because it's that kind of stuff that made her pretty funny on Silicon Valley.
Right, exactly.
It was a lot of that, and they almost go away from that for most of the movie from her after this.
Right, there's like one more bit of like her being embarrassed by doing something.
Right.
And yeah, it's when she's embarrassed, it's really good. She's a good straight woman.
She is. They just didn't give her enough opportunities, but I get it. You can only fill in so much.
Right. This is a longer than average teen sex comedy as it is. As almost like 2 hours. So Lance tries to teach Ian, tell Ian he has to be more assertive and worry less about outcomes, and points out Andy and Randy as role models in the mall. And while he admits they don't know how to close, their openings are heroic. And we watched an example, a woman who was collecting money for the underprivileged children in Ecuador.
What's up?
Approaches Andy and Randy about donating, and they respond with, "Do you want a party?" And she's like confused and says she's working right now. "When are you done?" "Yeah." What are you doing after?" I have a church thing tonight. And then Andy and Randy just turn it up to 11. With like, "Kick ass, we'll come." "Yeah, where is it? Is there going to be more hot snatch like you there? Do you wear thong underpants? Do you want us to take our shirts off? Where do you live? Is your mom hot too? Where do you live? What's your address? Do you want us to come over? Do you like pizza? Have you been to a motel?"
It's like the next generation
incredible.
of Night at the Roxbury.
That's a good one.
It's very similar in that vein. It's pretty funny.
That's a better example. I was thinking they were like new age Beavis and Butthead, but I think I like that better.
I think one of the lines that they said too was just randomly, "I'm uncircumcised."
I have that one later. Yes.
It's like, what?
Andy and Randy are goddamn legends, and I love them.
I also
like by the end of this movie, I am totally Team
Yeah.
Lance. Like, they are heroic. Like, I would want to keep them around for comedic purposes all the time.
I like when Lance also makes a comment about Felicia's cousin, and she makes some kind of comment like, "Oh, she's the worst. She's like the devil." It's like, yeah. Plus, she's super hot, and then he just smiles and waves. So it's just like another good delivery.
Yeah. I love Ian getting picked up from work by Rex. Fuck off, donut.
Yep.
And then he finds out that it's his brother who has stupidly like gotten his key broken off in his work locker, and so he has to wear like the donut costume home.
Yeah.
And like Rex is disgusted. He's like, "You're not wearing that in my car. You have to stick it in the trunk." And he's like, "You look like a Mexican butthole."
Yeah.
It shouldn't be funny, but Marston's delivery just absolutely kills me.
Exactly.
In this scene.
He nails it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could have pulled this off with that many other people. Like it had to be someone like him or I don't know. There are some people who could pull it off.
James Marsden has a sweet looking face. Like, there's like a nice person behind there.
Right.
And so when he says stuff like "fuck off, donut," it just sounds funny. It just does.
He's got a cadence and a delivery that's amazing.
Oh,
I mean, I think
does.
it's probably why the half the line with him in X-Men with the prove it, you're a dick. Okay, like
fair enough, yeah.
this, fair enough. Like he's got this cadence to him.
27 Dresses. I mean,
27 Dresses. He's good in that movie.
I haven't seen Enchanted, but I hear amazing things.
He's really good in that movie.
Yeah, no, I've never watched a James Marsden performance and thought I wish someone else had played this. Like especially in a comedic performance, he's very, very funny. He knows how to sell comedy.
Very funny. Like, I swear, like, movies that are generally kind of bad, but he's in it and he elevates it like crazy. Like that movie Hop or the Sonic movies, like he seems to be getting typecasted almost into that kind of a role. So I don't know if I love that, but like the dude's got abilities and I wish he got to do more stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately, he got stuck in that Stand remake, which was... No fault of his.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Westwood. He was Westworld. He was great in Westworld.
Westworld, yeah. He was
like genuinely very good in Westworld. He
was. He was like the
Teddy.
dude that started to be like, "Hey, I don't think this is okay."
Yeah, Teddy. He was great.
I know, and he came back a little bit at the end. It was exciting.
Yeah. Well. Anyway, how about Lance calling over a random drunk girl at the party he's throwing and entices her into having sex with Ian by telling her he's a virgin?
That's a weird poll.
On what planet?
Yeah.
Like, I was just laughing at the movie. I'm like, all right.
I guess she's that drunk, which is also disturbing.
No, but like even
if
I've never in a million years,
there's no
woman has been like,
on any earth.
Are you telling me he doesn't know what he's doing?
Right, exactly.
How attractive.
I mean, obviously, we all know at this point, confidence sells more than anything else. And it's like, here, you have no confidence.
If there was a lesson in that movie, that would be it. Like, just have confidence and go for it.
Yep, exactly. Did you catch the part where he comes home or whatever, and the brother, I guess, hooked up or whatever?
I'm still before that. Sorry, I got one more thing because I got two more things before that. Sorry. So after Ian, I want to get to this point because we mentioned this earlier. So after Ian gets rejected by Felicia at the party and she walks away, a random dude reveals he's been there the whole time, watched the entire interaction, and with like a serial killer's grin, stares him down, just as harsh. And then like continues to stare him down and smile at him. It's fucking hilarious.
It is really funny.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And then like as he's leaving the party, Ian starts talking up Andy and Randy again, asking them like why they don't give a shit. And they're still like talking to every girl walking past them. One of the lines they yell out, as Tim mentioned before, is "I'm uncircumcised." It's a pickup line. They're heroic, Tim.
It's so funny.
Heroic. So, as Tim was about to mention, Ian comes home from a party to find Becca making out with Dylan at the front door.
The 14-year-old brother.
Yeah, you want to tell the scene? You were excited.
I mean, it's just funny. He's so confident about himself, and he's at his 14-year-old brother, and then he's like basically holds his fingers up, and he's like, "Hey," like implying that he got around some bases there, and he's like, "Want to smell my finger?" And Ian gives this like, "No." All right.
Yeah. Okay.
He's like, "Okay."
What?
Which is such like a what?
He gives the look of no, and he's like, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm also like, what?
Why would you? What?
On no planet.
Anyway, and then he goes to smell the fingers, and he's like, "Oh, you sure you got the right hole?"
And the look
And
on
he's like,
Dylan's
"Yeah,"
face.
and then he smells it too. He's like, "Oh, maybe not."
The look on his face, he's like smiling proudly. Yeah, and then he runs away. And it's just like, okay. That was fucked.
Yeah, it was a really messed up scene.
So after all of this humiliation after humiliation for Ian, he goes back on to talk to his safe outlet, Miss Tasty Online.
Miss Tasty.
And she says she'll fuck Ian if he drives down to Knoxville, Tennessee to meet her.
Yeah.
Holy bucket, she wants me to give her the D. There's like a Jimmy Olsen-like cadence to Ian's dialogue sometimes. I'm like, okay.
Sometimes, yeah, I can see it. Jiminy Wilkers.
Exactly. So Ian starts dance celebrating, hitting the punching bag in the basement, and then starts...
And like humping it.
Yeah, he starts making out and humping the bag, and that's when Karen, now in an arm sling after her fall earlier, slipping
I
in...
didn't try to bring him cookies, right? I think it's what it was.
I think she's got to play to something again.
I thought it was like cookies or something.
Well, the cookies comes later.
Yeah.
But I know she's got to play something to show him, but she's like in an arm sling after falling in his jizz. She comes down, sees him, and then quickly like runs away.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
Well, I think before she could fully go away, they notice each other.
Right, but they don't talk to each other.
There's this awkward stare down of like, yeah, I was here, and he's like, oh, this is terrible. And they don't say these things, but clearly that's what it is.
Right.
That's it.
But
that's the end of the scene.
It's not over for my girl Karen. Her horror is not done yet.
No, it continues.
Ian starts preparing for sex. First struggling to figure out the right condom for himself. Which, all been there, guy.
Well, it's just funny because he first goes to the store and he's like looking at all the options.
Right,
and he has no idea what he's doing. And this like big old dude just comes around and just quickly grabs what he wants. And
he grabs
just
like 3 different kinds and just like whatever. Grab,
quickly like grabbing what he wants. Like he knows what he's doing. He's grabbing what he wants, right? And he just gives this pat on the back that's so like, oh, this is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like this is
no, it's always embarrassing the first like 2 or 3 times. And then so after he gets home, he decides to start playing with one of the condoms and getting the feel of
figuring stuff out.
Yeah. And then he's caught by surprise when Karen walks in the room with a plate of cookies she's baked for him, causing him to rubber band slingshot the condom onto her head.
Yep.
And she tries...
It's just like dripping down as she's talking.
Well, it's not dripping, but yeah.
It seems to get lower.
Well, yeah, no. She's trying to carry on a normal conversation with him, and she's just trying to blow the condom off her face like a stray hair. And then before leaving, she apologizes that she didn't knock first. And this poor fucking woman. I kind of wish we had tortured her more, but thank you for your service. It was incredible.
Yeah. I think we got the gist. I think it was pretty good.
Right.
Yeah.
I like Ian confessing to Lance his plan, and Lance is encouraging. And then Ian starts to have his doubts, and Ian shows him Miss Tasty's pictures. Like, this woman has a landing strip. I can't handle a landing strip. And he's like, okay, dude, you don't know. She might have a little Hitler under there, or a nasty full Chewbacca.
Yeah. I had that down too, yeah.
Little Hitler, that got me.
The blog thing. Did you find that funny? That came up a couple times.
That felt like a lame, like,
yeah,
American Pie one throwaway riff.
Maybe. I don't even know how that's American Pie. It's just
because
weird.
of the webcam and now everyone knew.
Yeah, I guess the social media of it all at this point. But it was a weird one that I was like, this never quite hits the way they seem to want it to. Luckily, they only kind of did it like twice, I feel.
Well, the second time, much funnier.
Yeah.
I like, oh, yeah? You don't want to bring Yoko on your sex trip? I Leo pointed at the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, he said the title of the movie.
Yeah. I like the also where he's like trying to help Rex pack his bikes, and he's just like, come on, put a little sack into it, which I like, and then he snaps the cord into his face and he falls over, which is again more like Ian physical comedy stuff.
Just stunned he didn't lose an eye. That's all I was thinking.
Yeah,
I was
right.
actually like, Jesus.
Especially because later he gets like a gasket shot in his eye too.
Right. Yeah. So because he promised Felicia to stay at his house and then forgets about it, and she shows up, he comes up with some lame lie about visiting his grandmother. So she comes along on the road trip. Yeah. And as they're going, they stop at a gas station, and Brandy, the attendant, is crying. And Felicia, the fucking psychopath, asks if she's okay. And Brandy, the gas attendant, says, fighting through tears, shouts, "Do I look like I'm all right?" And Felicia says, gently whispers, "Do you know what would make you feel a lot better? Putting 40 on pump 2. Rolls her eyes and walks away like, what's wrong with this girl? That's screwed up. Like,
yeah.
Something's not right there.
Zero compassion.
Right? And then Lance, my man, comes out of nowhere, puts his hand on hers, and he's like, hey. And cut to the next scene, and she is cuddling, crying in the backseat of the car with him. He asks what's up, and Lance replies, "I'm trying to show another human being a little compassion." And then he whispers, "And my dick." And the way he says it, with this like dumb grin on his face,
yeah,
it got me.
There was a couple moments before too with Lance, especially as the little I don't want to say the offensive terminology for the car that they run into.
The Trapper Keeper? It's a Toyota Eclipse.
Yeah, well, you know, there's an offensive terminology.
I know what you want to say, and we'll just call it a Toyota Eclipse. That's what it was.
Sure.
I don't want to lose a race to a car that looks like a Trapper Keeper.
Right, I thought that was funny. Yeah, I don't care if it's Steve McQueen's zombie corpse in there. I refuse to be embarrassed by that car.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'm not losing to a Trapper Keeper.
Yeah.
I thought that was fun.
Yeah. I think I was trying to fast forward because I was also like, I didn't want to bring up the offensive term for the car that we grew up with.
I know. Yeah.
Tim, did you enjoy watching that old man's nuts? I didn't.
No, to be honest, I wasn't expecting it at first.
no expects an old man's nuts to just be sitting out there.
Right. Nobody expects.
Yeah. Ian and Felicia are just sitting in the living room while Lance is nailing Brandy at the gas station tent in the other room.
And they asked them if they want some purple. And at first I'm like, what? But then like later on when they're like going for the drink that eventually is going to be thrown at somebody. And they was like, it's actually called purple.
Right.
That made me laugh.
So yeah, they're sitting in that living room with I guess Brandy's parents or grandparents. I'm not sure which. And like
one of the two. I don't know. Because clearly she's a little older, like obviously, right?
That's actually an interesting question. I don't know how old Andrea Anders was at this point. I'll look that up. So
got to be older than a high school senior.
That's fair.
Or incoming freshman.
Yeah, no, that seems fair. So yeah, this old man's nuts are just like sitting out there the whole time while they're having a conversation, and it's just like,
yeah.
And apparently there were his real nuts. They tried to get a prosthetic, but it didn't look right.
Really?
Yeah. So those are genuinely that man's nuts just sitting out there.
Oh wow.
Andrea was
32. Some kind of pay for it.
Andrea Anders was 32 years old at the time of filming of this movie.
Yeah, so older.
Yeah. So just cut to Brandy and Lance getting it on. Brandy asks Lance if he's ever had a peppermint fatty, and he hasn't, but he's game. Turns out it's just a blowjob while sucking on a mint.
Yeah.
This is curiously strong. And he's like, oh, feels like my dick got bar mitzvahed. That made me laugh. And then later on, she stands up and asks...
Oh, no, not the next one. Rolling brown
Have you
out.
heard of a rolling brown out? He's like, no, let's try it. Then she turns around and Lance realizes, wait, brown? No, nothing brown. Nothing brown.
And then you see him before, because the guy's, the boyfriend or whatever
Rick
comes in. Rick and he's gonna like knock on the door or burst it down maybe, but before that could even happen, you have Lance bursting out that he ripped the
bed frame, the headboard
completely off. to escape the rolling brownout, which is just generally just hilarious.
He's butt naked, running away, using the bed frame as a shield. The headboard as a shield. And Lance Wars, this is what it looks like. It's for a school project.
Another really funny
and
line.
then Felicia tries to help by throwing her soda at Rick and yells, "Purple soda!" Like she's Ryu and Street Fighter yelling Hadouken.
Yeah, which is the thing was like right before they're like, oh, it's actually called purple.
Yeah.
So it was a funny moment. Yeah.
Fast forward to Lance giddily laughing. You just killed that guy after Ian accidentally hit Brandy's ex-boyfriend.
Well, I also love where he's yelling, "She's not worth it. She'll just shit all over you, literally." Or "Trust me, I know," or something like that. Yeah.
I gotta say too, like running naked in a cornfield feels like a punishment in itself.
It sounds real painful, especially because at one point he legitimately gets run over.
Yeah. Well, I guess the bed frame took the brunt of it, but
I guess so. It had to have, yeah, to make that any sense.
Later on, we get a cameo by David Kuckner as the Grateful Hitchhiker, who mistakenly believes the kids have stopped for him when the car breaks down. He comes to the car, he looks at Lance like, "Guy, you're not wearing any pants." "Yeah, I know." "Right on."
Yeah, I thought the best part of that whole sequence, we went back and forth for a little while, because I didn't think all of that was that great, but I do like where to get it fixed,
Felicia,
her idea was to pee in the radiator or whatever.
Felicia tells the guys they got to pee in the radiator to cool the engine down, which is bad advice, but funny.
Yeah, but none of them have like enough pee, or they have stage fright or whatever. So Ian's got stage fright for peeing. But anyway, so it results in her.
Ian eventually steps up to the game, but like Lance is staring there watching him while he's doing it, and he's like, "Go away." It's like, "Really? You have a problem with this?" I'm like, yeah, he should have a problem with it. You don't have to like.
Well, he's like still, because I guess the whole thing is the
right.
stage.
No, but he's like.
He's almost watching. He's like, he doesn't have to be that close.
Exactly. Like, he's like face front, like watching his dick, like ready to pee. I'm like, that's fucked. All right.
It's a little weird.
Back off. Let me pee in private.
But I thought the funniest part was definitely, and this is another funny Felicia moment we finally get to, where she's kind of
she takes her turn
over the thing.
She's squatting
to try to pee on it. Yeah, she's squatting over it, and then like some Jesus people in a car pull up. And get to see everything, and I liked her line afterwards. I just showed like Jesus my beaver or something. I thought that was
one of the
funny.
Kids takes a picture. It's a good gag. We need more women like hilariously peeing in movies. Like
it's like a big joke for a lot of their community anyway, especially when they're drinking.
Well, you know what? It's a difficulty that they have to encounter. They don't have it as easy as us, and it always makes me laugh in a movie. So we should do it more.
Yeah.
So eventually they get the car to start, and they won't let the hitchhiker in, and he vows to stake them all to the ground, cut them open, and let the dogs get at you. And Ian's like, "Bye-bye," and slams on the gas, and the car stalls out after like 10 feet.
Yeah.
And the hitchhiker walks over and pisses like a water hose all over the car.
Did you like the part too where they're like, "All right, where are the maps?" And he's like, Lance is like, "They're in my pants." Like, and then he's like, "But what?" No, he says, "Where are the Google Maps?" I think is what he says, and they're in my pants. And it's like, oh no, this makes me feel old again.
I put this in miscellaneous. I'm like, oh shit, this makes me feel old.
Yeah, a little bit.
The kids are lost because they left the printed out Google Maps in their pants back at the trailer park.
I remember that your car was like covered in Google Maps back in the day.
Yeah, just folded pieces of like directions from wherever I was going. Yeah. So while the car is sold out, Lance is there and he meets Amish man Ezekiel. Ezekiel comes by, played by Seth Green.
Yeah.
And Ezekiel offers to help with the broken down car, and Lance starts to laugh. And Ezekiel's like, "Oh, you're laughing because I'm Amish, and I couldn't possibly know anything about your 69 Pontiac GTO Judge." And lists off a bunch more details, and then finishes off with, "Weird, that thing must have fallen straight from space. Good luck with your future ride, spaceman." And then we get a little know more about Ezekiel and why he's able to know all these things being Amish. And he's like,
yeah, I think this is like before this turned into reality shows too. Because eventually they turn this into TLC reality shows of these Amish people going through this.
That shit,
I never watched it too, but there was like a phase where it was big
I'm sure.
on like TLC and such. And I think it came after this.
They did TLC shows for the Amish? That was allowed?
Well, no, it was when they're, what do you call the
Rumspringa.
They kept calling, yeah, it's for that. So they would follow those Amish people that are on that.
Okay.
And they made like a lot of reality shows off of that.
Oh, seems good screwed up.
And like the end of the seasons, are they going to go back or not?
Right. So Lance wants to know how Ezekiel could possibly know about cars and shit. And Ezekiel's like, have you ever heard of Rumspringa? And Lance's like, yeah, it's a ska band from Delaware. I like that joke.
That was a good joke.
Anyway, they all go back to the Amish community to get the car fixed, and there's a big Rumspringa Fall Out Boy concert, barn rave going on.
Right. Which you kind of find out, again, like at the end credit sequence, that it's like they're there because their car
their
or
bus,
whatever,
the tour
their bus broke down too.
Yeah.
So it's like, because otherwise it's insanely random.
I don't need to know, but yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, but still, sure.
So Ian leaves the party because he's bummed out about Felicia being into Lance. And
well, Felicia leaves too because she's bummed out that Lance used her to get an Amish girl.
Mary, yeah. So anyway, regardless, going back, Ian leaves the party and he goes to check on the car and how Ezekiel's doing with the repairs, and finds it mostly disassembled and starts to freak out. And Ezekiel's just trying to calm down. He's like, this is just how these old cars have to be fixed. You got to take them apart, put them back together. And Ian's like, you don't know my brother. He's going to fuck my ass with a roll of quarters. And I got to say, Ezekiel and I both laughed our asses off at him. It's like, it's the least threatening way to be ass raped with a roll of quarters. Like, that's not big.
I guess they were trying to use more physical comedy with him, and his he kicks a box and his foot gets stuck into it. I actually didn't find any of this funny.
Well, I just enjoyed that he just had a roll of quarters to be raped with. And I was like, that's not big.
No, the funniest part is
Ezekiel laughing at him like, what?
Ezekiel not even laughing because there's so much of Seth Green in this movie is just deadpan.
Oh well, not even get to the best Seth Green stuff
yet. It's
yeah.
so deadpan, and it's so much more of like, so in that. It's like his most emotion he gives in this movie because he gives kind of like a smirk with it. Like, really? Like,
well, my man has been places because earlier on, Lance and him are talking like, what do you miss from the world? He's like, first thing he lists is sarcasm, which he is full of in this movie. And then he just talks some more thing, gambling and whatnot. He's like, anal sex. It's like the last thing.
No, I think he just says butt sex.
Butt sex, sorry.
It's just butt sex.
Like, I had a good time in Vegas. But yeah, so he knows all about this, and he knows a roll of quarters is not big. It's like,
yeah.
But yeah, Ian goes into like all like, he's gonna go to the bank, he's gonna change out of 10. It's like a roll of quarters. Like, that's okay. Anyway, at this point, Rex figures out that Ian has stolen his car and gets into a rage fight with the garage door in his house.
He has like a bad dream first of like him eating a donut and jelly falling on his car, which wakes him up, and then he checks to find his key is gone. So then he's determined to check to see if this really happens. So I like this where he's riding his dirt bike, his motorbike, just back to the house, and he just hops off the motorbike,
letting it keep on going.
And the motorbike just keeps going. You just see it spinning in the background because it's still going. And then, he checks and it's not there. And he freaks out and he starts punching the garage door. He tries to drop kick.
Yes, this is my favorite
part. Garage door.
And he misses it.
And it's too high and he misses it, just completely crashes down.
So good.
But then he still gets up to completely destroy the garage door.
Yeah, this is great.
And the joke of him with the dirt bike keeps coming back up, and it's really funny.
Well, I love it.
Every time
a neighbor decides, like, hey, jerk off, why don't you take your bike out of the street? And he's like, oh, you want some? And he just starts coming at him, and we cut away. This is great.
The guy runs away,
So then we cut to, the car gets fixed, and they get on back in the road, and poor, innocent, sweet baby Angel Ian needs to poop. And he doesn't realize the kind of bathroom he's walked into while reaching for the toilet paper. And he accidentally grazes a dude's dick that was poking out of a glory hole. Yeah. Ian flips out with gay panic, and Army crawls away under the stall and out of the bathroom. Gotta say, didn't find this funny.
No.
Don't care how many dicks you put in front of me. I'm not crawling on a public bathroom floor.
It's just
also.
Yeah,
I'm assuming
I
my
agree
guy
with you.
did not wipe, so he smells like shit now.
Yeah, unless he didn't quite get it fully started yet. But no, because he was going for toilet paper.
He's going for toilet paper.
Yeah, it just didn't work.
I like
it
the
had
setup.
Potential. I feel
The setup is good. Where like the guy's like, it's our turn now. Like it's almost like a ride on the carnival they're at.
Right.
Like, hey, let's go.
The funnier part is when he comes back in the prison cell later.
Yeah, right.
He gives him like a nod when he finally pees in public.
Yeah,
but
it's like that guy should look at your dick the whole time, and it's the same guy who was in the bathroom with him. It's like, eh.
But yeah, like it's weird. It's a weird miss.
Tim, you ever crawling on a public bathroom floor for anything?
Oh hells no.
Absolutely not.
Nope.
Yeah, so like as you mentioned earlier, I appreciate Lance trying to lay down some harsh truths to Ian about Felicia. She only sees him as a friend and always will. And it's a shame the movie actually betrays that later.
Yeah.
And he's just like, you know what every girl I banged had in common? I wasn't friends with any of them. And they all had gorgeous teeth. I'm into that.
Yeah, I had that line too. I like that line.
So, yeah, like I said, they stopped off at a carnival so Ian could use the bathroom. And Ian tries his hand at the rope ladder game and wins a lollipop and tries to coach up a cute girl on how to win. He gives her the lollipop and she thanks him and invites him to watch her dance team, who danced to Bobby Brown's My Prerogative, which is a fucking banger of a song. And at this point, I thought the joke would be the girl was in middle school because she looks super young.
Super young.
But we find out after they drag Ian on stage and a sign flashes behind him, the show is for abstinence awareness. Ian has no clue about this, and Lance and Felicia are laughing at him. And Ian is checked out because he is immediately zoned in on the entire dance team undressing backstage, which he has a full show of. And he has totally missed that a pregnant woman has come on stage and is delivering a sob story. And then the show's camera is broadcast on the screen behind him. And it zooms on his face as it looks in onto the crowd that he's getting off listening to the pregnant girl's story. That's what it looks like.
Because he got a hard on, yeah.
And well, that's when the MC stops the show to confront Ian, who is now sporting an obvious boner that has popped an impressive tent in blue jeans.
Yep.
That's hard.
But you got to show it for the comedy, so...
Right, I know, but like, usually in our situation, for the fellas, we address this to the right or to the left, not straight on. In a pair of blue jeans, that is tough, thick material. Yep. That is a true boner. That's going true north.
Yeah.
So fast forward to kids going to jail because of an accident, and Felicia is having girl chat, getting her nails done in a lady jail, which is kind of lame until it's revealed a woman is giving her sob story about a guy she was just friends with, not turning out well. And while she's giving the story, she's been shitting on the toilet the entire time. I thought that was
and she goes for a hug.
Yeah.
While she's still in the toilet,
like,
which is another nice, awkward Felicia moment, which is like, I wish there was more of this.
I thought it was a funny sight gag.
Yeah, no, it was. And I do, like, I think somewhere in the middle of this, too, where it's, I think it's when they were with Felicia. I don't remember if it's right after this, right before this, where they're like, because under this, at point in the movie, Felicia's not aware of the true mission.
Yeah, I skipped all the dentist stuff, and it just wasn't very funny. It's just
no. I don't either. So it must have been before. She doesn't know the intention of Ian. She thinks that Ian is going to go visit his grandmother,
right? Yeah,
who has a slight case of foot cancer,
right? Yes,
which I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah,
but
not serious.
But anyway, not serious. It's fine. But so Lance is trying to get his point across again to Ian, but Felicia's there, so he's like, you got to visit your grandma. You need to visit your grandma. Everybody needs to visit grandma. And it just keeps going, and I like the Indiana.
Right. This is where we found out that Ian has sex 2 or 3 times a week. He's like, I visit grandma 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just, and that scene rubbed me the wrong way because nope, a high school kid who is not in a committed relationship is not getting laid 2 to 3 times a week. It's not happening.
Yeah. We also after the dentist stuff, which I don't care about, we get the offensive car returns.
Oh, you want to do the possum stuff? Okay. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, I just liked that the danger zone music kicks in and he says, "Talk to me, Goose."
I did like
made
that
me
too.
laugh.
Yeah. I was, for the point of brevity, I was skipping it, but I appreciate that you brought it up because I did write it in my original notes. I was like, I gotta trim this shit down. But yeah, I thought it was funny, and I gotta tell you, if I hit a possum, I'm not pulling over to cry about it. It's not an attractive animal.
No,
it's not a cute.
yeah,
it's not one of the cute ones.
They try to make a joke about it of him having to keep trying to kill it and it wouldn't die.
Yeah, to put it out of its misery, and he can't quite do it. But like, and then
we've seen this joke so many times in previous things. Too,
I guess my problem is that it's a possum. It's like, oh no, that's an ugly one. It's fine. Just walk away.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they finally get bailed out of jail, and
it's for the Amish girl Mary.
Right. Lance goes to collect his things, and Lance's like, Teddy, Carol, you guys got my stuff? Going to be a few minutes. All right, I got to put up with a lot here. I was raped last night. No, I'm just fucking with you. But one guy did get raped last night.
Yeah.
that got me.
I like when they get to Tennessee, they get to Nashville or whatever. And so he's getting ready and he's looking like Lance, whatever.
Yeah, he's wearing that ascot. He looks like Fred from Scooby-Doo.
Yep, he's going to go for it or whatever. And then he gets a knock at the door. And he goes, and it's Rex standing there, and the bikes are spinning behind him. I thought that was so funny. And then they get into a fight, and
in the
I
most
thought it was kind of
detailed fireman sex room. It's
I guess, yeah.
And like there should have been more of a joke about
music comes on.
Yeah, where Raining Men, I think, comes on or something like that. Like, I feel like
I guess so.
This feels like it would have been the gay sex room, but there should have been more jokes about that. Like. Or obvious jokes anyway.
They kind of ignore it almost. He like weirdly rips his brother's shirt to give him a titty twister. You know, It's like. But I do like when he's like, Rex defeats his brother Ian.
Right. Yes.
But then Ian starts confessing, like, oh, I don't know, like basically I might be gay.
Yeah.
And then you have Chase Barnes going, oh no, fuck, shit, damn it. No, like he just keeps
no way my little brother's taking the chili ring. I had never heard chili ring used for asshole before, so I enjoyed that.
I thought everything from Marsden there was just it was just so funny.
Everything from this movie is phenomenal.
Yeah, and I loved where he finally goes, okay, fine. You have 1 hour, you can take the judge and go do it. And then he goes, but Ian, not up the butt.
That's right, yeah.
Just more funny.
So yeah, like the whole thing of this is that he has to bring the judge to Miss Tasty because that's the car he pretended to be driving. So that's the one part of the story he can pretend is true. And of course it's revealed that Miss Tasty is actually just a carjacker with her boyfriend Bobby Joe. And
lures dumb people into traps to steal their cars.
Right, and they strip Ian, leave him in the middle of nowhere, and they steal.
Notice that Felicia's in the car,
like a fucking psychopath who's been stalking Ian on this date.
Well, that's where the cock block or twat blocking joke was kind of right on and funny throughout most of the movie.
Right. But still, I'm like, this is psychopath behavior. I'm sorry. Just is. Just like another instance of like something not right with this girl.
Yeah.
So they steal the car and she has Bobby Joe drop her off for her next scam. And it's the Toyota Eclipse that we've seen throughout the movie. The kids have had multiple run-ins with. And it turns out it's my guys, Andy and Randy, driving the car.
Yeah.
We bought beer and rubbers and some lotion for your tits.
And I love how she's like, yeah, okay, let's go.
Yeah,
and they
Miss Stacy is
immediately
down
go quiet.
She's like, I am down to get naked and party. And they just like shut up and roll up the windows quietly. Like, nope.
Yeah, they quietly roll up the windows. It's so funny.
That's great. So that's when Brandy's ex Rick arrives, runs into the judge thinking it's Lance in the car. He had the maps that were left in Lance's pants back in the trailer.
Yeah.
I was like wait, how did they possibly find him? Explained 20 seconds later. Really appreciate that from the movie.
Yeah.
Rex freaks out when he sees his wrecked car, comes over to confront, and gets promptly punched in the face.
Yeah, he's like, bite my dick, asshole. Then he goes to punch and then gets laid out.
Yeah. Lance comes out to investigate from the motel across the street, and Felicia, who has been spying on Ian, crawls out of the back seat and a little shook up. Bobby Joe takes Felicia hostage and is about to leave when Ian, in the donut costume, which was...
leaps from somewhere?
Somewhere? I don't know where.
I don't know where either.
It was definitely from a height.
Yeah, somewhere. Yeah. Maybe from top of a car. Somehow he climbed a car in that thing.
Yeah, before
or climbed anywhere
Miss Stacy
in that donut
revealed
costume.
her treachery, they were making out on the donut costume, and that was all that was left of him when they took his clothes. So that's what he ran over with. So running in that thing, impressive. Jumping in that thing, impressive. Jumping from something where that has no height, impressive. But he jumps on to Bobby Joe.
And gets to the gun first afterwards.
Right. Takes the gun out of Bobby Joe's hand, and a stray shot goes off and hits the Eclipse. Holy loud! People are in the vehicle! And this is where I wrote down, like, this is the closest we've ever gotten to live action Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
I love those dudes.
I like too where he's like trying to demand everybody to do certain things, and it's a callback to earlier where he's getting made fun of at the beginning of the movie because he can't stop automatically moving the donut's mouth when he's actually speaking.
Right.
So he's like trying. He's got everybody held up with a gun and directing, and Lance's like, dude, you're still moving the mouth. And he's just like, shut up, I don't care. Like,
So Ian now has the gun and tries to sort everything out. And first he lets Rick punch Lance because he fucked his girl and he has come a long way.
And Lance's like, what, man? And he's like, dude, like, yes, go do it or whatever. You slept with her. He's like, all right. Like, and then he's like cool with it.
The look on Marston's face,
that was
though.
a good punch.
The look on Marston's face when Lance gets hit is absolutely priceless. He's like, oh, that's so good. And he said Lance is impressed with the punch and shakes Rick's hands after. He says some things I do not care for.
I do not care for it either, but I can't. I
still laughed. Yeah,
I know, but I didn't I don't want to repeat it.
Yeah, I don't either. Bobby Joe thinks Ian is full of shit and won't shoot and makes a move, but Ian shoots in the air. And Bobby Joe is unimpressed as anybody can shoot in the air. I don't think you got the plums, boy. And he makes another move, and Ian shoots him in the leg. And once again, the look on Marston's face as he points with excited pride absolutely rolls me.
Almost the whole time. He's like, Ian, yeah! Like, he's so excited by it.
Happy, excited James Marsden is a thing of joy, which should be shared with the world all the time.
He's like this weird, interesting character, right? Because he's so horrific in his bullying and the comments he makes throughout so much of the movie, but like there's this weird thing where he's like actually still like a big older brother who actually does want to see his brother succeed, like just weird.
Cheering him on as he's shooting some guy in the leg. So Bobby Joe won't quit. Now painfully says anybody can shoot somebody in the leg and makes another move. And Ian kicks him in the injured leg and then cracks him over the head with the gun, promises to make him stained if he moves again. And that's when Tasty tries to get away and Felicia confronts her and Rex screams catfight. And REO Speedwagon's Can't Fight This Feeling Anymore starts playing with close-ups of hair pulling and butts while the dudes look on with delight. Rick even...
it's like slow motion from each guy, even the dude on the ground, Bobby Joe, being like, I kind of like this too.
I missed the Bobby Joe when I'm sorry about that. But Rick putting his arm around Lance and pointing with joy, that killed me. That was great.
Yeah, no, he's like on the ground, pinned down. And he's like looking like up and over, kind of be like, hey, and he cracks a smile too.
Great. The cops come, and after a not particularly funny confrontation, gets sorted out. Did you enjoy it? I should have.
No. The next funny part that I have is after. To be honest, I didn't really find the Seth Green stuff.
Well, I got before that. Sorry, because there's a quick shot after the bad guys get properly identified and brought to judges, and there's a quick shot of Andy and Randy being interviewed by a cop. as Miss Tasty has walked by in handcuffs. We were just banging that chick in our car. Yeah, super hard.
Yeah.
I love these guys. They're so dumb.
Yeah.
See, after the two cowards admit that, Ian and Felicia are the two cowards, admit that they love each other and kiss, you got Rex screaming, "Thank God!" as he walks by.
Yeah. Yeah. Because he would know, probably.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Everyone knew.
Everyone knew.
And they return to Ezekiel's farm to finally do some chores and get the judge fixed again. And Ezekiel tells him, like, yeah, I figure after total parts and labor, total cost of repair is like $4,200. And Ian starts to freak out, and Ezekiel's like, let's calm down. Just kidding. They're good. Are you sure?
I'm messing with you.
Yeah. That's what I live for, fixing other people's shit for free. And there's like this is a great, amazing, awkward silence. And there's a bunch of it in all of his scenes.
It's
where he's just
the main gist of his humor in this movie is this.
Yeah, just staring him down after saying nice things, but I'm fucking with you, but you don't actually know. And it's like great.
Right. I actually didn't always find it that funny.
This one,
I don't know.
the end one, I really liked. And I have more that I wrote down for later, but yeah.
Yeah. Where I kind of laughed again is where they you find out Lance is gonna stay and be Amish. Sure.
Right,
okay.
Exactly.
And so right before Ian and Felicia drive off, you see Rex on the dirt bike.
Yeah, I have this written down too. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's
immediately home, pussy. Straight home.
Yeah,
pussy.
and then he drives off and he completely eats it right away.
He
on
pops
the
a
bike.
wheelie and falls on his back. He's like,
It's so quick. It's so quick. I'm like, I don't even know if I noticed that the first time I watched this movie.
You had to rewind it because you have to hear Marston deliver again, saying "fucking piece of shit" so fast, and angry. Fucking piece of shit. So good.
I don't think you see him get back up.
No, you don't.
Either, to be honest.
Immediately cuts to close-ups for the sincere, I'm staying and being Amish. Second with my girl.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I have.
Oh no, I have Rex tearfully admitting at Thanksgiving dinner that he's gay, and his dad flips over the turkey in anger.
Yeah.
But by Christmas, he's used to it, and Rex is a pretty great guy these days, and now he only uses the word faggot during rough sex.
But he still sees his brother getting sex for the first time, and then he still throws a firecracker.
Yeah. Somehow, okay, so
he still has to bully someone.
So this movie takes place in the summertime, right?
Yeah.
So they
all went local, Patrick. They all went local, I guess.
I guess, whatever. But still, the movie states clearly that they don't have sex until New Year's.
Yeah.
No way.
Somehow twice, too.
Well, it's just no teenagers are waiting that long. Especially if they were separated for any point in time with going to college. Just absolutely not happening.
Yeah. They were trying to put a nice, more romantic tie to it.
But I appreciated that. Well, I'll get into that. I should probably get into that later when we go into supporting characters. But these are all that's all I got for that category.
Yeah.
I gave it an 8 out of 10. I laughed a lot this movie.
Wow. You went really high.
Okay. Wow. What do you got?
Wow. I went 3.
Out of 10?
Yeah.
Wow. You did not find this movie funny at all. That's the lowest you've ever given.
No, it's not.
I think so.
I don't think so. I checked.
Wow. You did not like this movie.
No, it's gonna slot higher than 2 of the movies.
Wow, I am stunned. Okay.
We'll see how I end up rating the rest, but yeah, I went 3. I didn't think Ian was funny. I thought sometimes with his physical stuff, every once in a while was funny. I thought Lance and Rex were hilarious. I really didn't think Felicia maybe twice had something funny. And I thought I didn't really think Seth Green and Ezekiel was really that funny. I really didn't.
Really? I loved
all
the sarcasm and the awkward stares.
it didn't land with me. I don't know. It didn't quite work for me. So I don't know. Like I there was definitely funny stuff here, for sure. I enjoyed it.
Wow, you've landed in the Roger Ebert zone for this movie. Wow. Okay, look at you.
It's again. I don't think it's going to be that low. I don't think in the end it's going to be that low.
All right. Well, supporting characters.
So I mean, this is where I had more of everybody else in this category. So this is where I had Lance, Felicia, Rex, and Ezekiel. In this category.
Well, if you have anything that you didn't mention before about Lance or Felicia, now will be the time.
No, I mean, I think we basically said it all between main characters and hilarity. So.
Okay, then Ian's older brother Rex, played by James Marsden, is pretty funny in this.
Yeah, no, he's the main source of my humor in this movie.
He's playing a Stifler-esque, loud and obnoxious douchebag, but when it's played by James Marsden, you can't hate the guy. It's just impossible.
I mean, yeah.
I love that his license plate reads "No Fat Chicks."
No fat chicks. Yep.
Besides being a bully to his younger brother, Rex's other constant quality is his casual homophobia. Quit being a fag, Constant gay panic, which resolves itself in the end when Rex confesses at Thanksgiving that he's in fact gay. And I got a little bummed at post coming out at Christmas. They turned him into this clean-cut, effeminate gay man. But it looks like that was just an act for the family and boyfriend at Christmas time, being all nice and proper, because when we see him on New Year's, he's back to dressing like a motocross D-bag. And those guys can be gay too,
I guess, you know what? Hey, you can't get it fully out of them,
Yeah. I mean, you don't need to change your entire personality just because you like dudes. That's not fair. Or right.
Right.
I love Andy and Randy.
Oh yeah, I didn't really include them. I guess I should have, but they were pretty. They were pretty funny.
Hilarious.
It was one note, but pretty funny.
Definitely one note, but it worked for me every time. Hilarious, non-threatening doofuses who are
especially because you get them like twice towards the beginning, and then you don't get them again until the very end.
Great supporting.
So there's a big gap in between. So it's like a nice callback when it's like you find out it's them in the car.
Yeah.
And they would be the ones dumb enough to also fall on the same track.
Exactly. They are just non-threatening doofuses who are always hitting on girls, but in the most hilariously stupid and bro-y way possible.
Right.
Like Ian asked him, like, how do you have the confidence to hit on every girl you see? Because we're the shit. Yeah, you ought to know that, bitch. Seth Green is Ezekiel, the sarcasm-loving car mechanic Amish man. I thought is a delight in the movie. I'm sorry.
Not that he was bad. I don't know. Like it didn't really make me laugh all that much.
I love every time he screws with Ian. And all the awkward pauses that happen in between. And I enjoyed the hell out of the epilogue where he gets to fuck with Fall Out Boy, too.
I thought the Fall Out Boy one was a little bit funnier. I thought that one was a little bit funnier, yeah. But otherwise, I don't know. It didn't really... I don't know. It didn't do it for me.
Lord, please bless this Fall Out Boy. Help to inspire the heights of John Bon Jovi. And I loved your penis on the internet, by the way.
I was wondering if that was like a thing that happened.
You don't remember that?
Or something. No, I don't.
Yeah. The lead singer's a pics got leaked or whatever, and his dick was all over there, and it was like quit the band. He was so embarrassed and everything. But apparently they only agreed to be in this movie because Seth Green was friends with the band and then convinced them
really?
it was cool to do. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I can't say I was ever a big Fall Out Boy fan. I did know a girl that was like president of their like fan club or something.
Oh,
and
celebrity.
Was in, I guess she did because of it was in one of their music videos.
Oh.
She was in the music video for Dance Dance.
Wow.
Which is one of the songs I hate the most, but, there's like a whole prom kind of aesthetic to that music video. And there is a girl that slaps one of them in the face. And that is my friend.
Oh.
From high school, yeah.
All right. You got Katrina Bowden Tim knows is Cerie from 30 Rock and Allison from Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
I didn't even include that. She has such a small part here.
I know, but because she was in 30 Rock and Tucker and Dale versus Evil, I wanted to shout her out.
All right, fair. I guess.
Did a pretty good fake Southern accent, which she drops after she realizes, it's not going to happen with Ian and comes out.
I didn't really mind it because obviously everything was a show, and
I thought the fake Southern accent was good.
I mean, I don't care. Like it wasn't anything that you're like, ugh.
All right, and then a quick one I want to point out: Andrea Anders as Brandy, the gas station attendant. She is the director's sister, and she was awesome as Linda on the Cancel Too Soon, Better Off Ted. But Tim and most probably know her best as Ted Lasso's ex-wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I gave this category a 3.
Same.
Okay, so we're going to have wildly different scores. I gave this movie a 14 out of 20.
I gave it an 8.
I don't know if we've ever had a bigger discrepancy.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's crazy that you think this movie's better than Pineapple Express. And wait, you gave it what?
14.
So you have it tied with number 1.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun with this movie.
I think that's kind of crazy.
Okay. I enjoyed it.
I think, okay. I mean, hey, to each his own. But I'm
going to put it below Burn After Reading, but
okay.
Yeah, did I think it was funnier than The Whackness? Yes. Did I think it was more consistently funny than Pineapple Express? Absolutely. And same goes for Sex and the City, the movie, and War Inc. That's for sure. I know there are movies coming that I'm going to have rated higher than this movie. So I feel fine with this rating. And I liked that, this was a good teen sex comedy. Which is a hard thing to do. Hard thing to pull off.
It's hard to do for
so many bad ones.
Yeah. No, I mean I agree with you, and I think it's not just about humor and hilarity, right? I mean, because I think that's probably why things like The Whackness does so well, because it's so stronger in so many other categories. So I think that's why it's high. Mm-hmm. But in general, hilarity, I don't think this movie's funnier than Pineapple Express. I think Pineapple Express is a funnier movie than Sex.
I can't stress enough how much I enjoyed Clark Duke in this movie too, and how
he is really, him and Rex and James Marsden are the heroes of this movie
for sure. But Clark, you would never have picked Clark Duke for this movie. You never would have guessed that he would have played this part. Like he would have normally played the Ian part, and to have him play the Lance part makes it so unique and fascinating. And so you're kind of like, wow, okay. This is great.
It's a weird trajectory too, because and not too long after this, he goes Hot Tub Time Machine,
and then
he
The Office after that. Yeah,
he fits in with all of those people in Hot Tub Time Machine, which is kind of insane. This young guy is fitting in with all these like older pro guys.
No, he has like really good chemistry with Cordry. Yeah, Rob Corddry. He has really good chemistry with Rob Corddry, playing like his stepdad or something like that in the movie. It's really good.
And it's a really funny movie. And so I don't know, I like this movie, but like I think I looked at my list and I was like, I don't know, like I still think Pineapple Express was funnier. And I think overall, just category wise, the way scoring works, I think that's what made Burn After Reading Whackness higher.
Okay.
But definitely better than, without a doubt, than Sex and City and War Inc. I have it clearly points higher than that. So,
like I would rank Whackness as a better movie,
right?
But as a better comedy, I gotta go Sex Drive.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I could actually see myself definitely tinkering with my rankings already. Well, just because, like, I don't know, like, I could probably see myself rewatching Pineapple Express over The Whackness, as much as I really like The Whackness.
Hey,
so I don't.
That was just a fun surprise for us, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Is 8 probably a little low? Yeah, probably a little low. Definitely. But I think if we go on in the season and as I get to other movies, I might have to end up tinkering, because I'm not gonna have Sex Drive lower than some movies on this list. Like, I won't let it be. So I might have to tinker.
Okay. Shout out to this movie, directly pandering to Tim too. I wasn't just me getting the "Got You Where I Want You." Tim got the special needle drop where MGMT's "Time to Pretend" started playing over a montage.
True. Great song.
Surprised you didn't clap and shout it out earlier. Bad job by Tim.
Aww.
Let's see. I already mentioned those other 2 things that I haven't missed. My guy Roger Ebert gave this movie 2 out of 4 stars. He called it an exercise in versatile vulgarity.
Oh, wow.
He admits it has some laughs, even some big ones, but is so raunchy and driven by its formula that you want to cringe.
I feel like I've seen raunchier things, but I mean, everybody's kind of going to be formulaic, so I don't think that's fair.
It is what it is. Well, you know what? When you've seen as many movies as Roger Ebert, you just give me something new. Something.
Yeah.
And that dude saw everything. So I don't blame him for being like that sometimes.
Fair enough, but I think we both agree, though, as much as we might disagree on the total points and ranking here. Like, it's worth a watch. Like, it's a pretty fun movie.
It's a funny movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think this got not properly reviewed and
what
and
I
seen
find personally
when it came
fascinating is that you gave this movie a lower overall score than I gave the Sex and the City movie.
Yeah, I think your ranking of Sex and the City is also kind of crazy. So
it's because you're a misogynist.
But no, I mean, like, it's even War Inc. You rated War Inc. higher than I did.
Yeah, I guess I kind of did.
You did. You went 7.5 for War Inc. I went 6.
My love of John Cusack is too strong. I don't know what to say.
I actually have Sex and the City tied with War Inc. I really didn't like Sex and the City much at all, but I agree it's better than War Inc.
Right.
So yeah, those I really didn't like those movies. So I do have Sex Drive, at least 2 points higher. But again, I can see myself moving points up here, at least maybe 1 or 2 in the hilarity category, and boosting it, especially if it comes into conflict with anything else that I actually will not like as much, because I know I like this movie.
It's fine. I'll break you later. So this movie had a budget of $19 million and a worldwide gross of a little over 18.7. And made supposedly another 10 million on home video. So I guess it broke even. Debuted at number 9 on the weekend it was released, losing to Max Payne in its opening weekend.
Never saw it.
You never saw the Max Payne movie? I thought you did see that.
Nope, didn't want to.
Tim's hatred of Mark Wahlberg, possibly stronger than mine. Also debuting that weekend, The Secret Life of Bees, which got number 3, and Oliver Stone's W, which got number 4, also debuting that weekend. This came out October 17th of 2008, and there was only one horror movie in the top 10 in the middle of October. Quarantine, by the way. Just damn, that sucks.
Yeah, you got the pick.
Okay. Oh, so next week. Because I am less racist than Tim.
What?
I'm going to pick the only movie we have this season that has black people.
Soul Man?
Yeah, I win. I get the less racist card.
Wow.
Soul Man,
That's
for
fair.
real,
I
though.
almost picked that one a couple of times, but okay.
Well, I'm faster than you.
All right.
Yes, I win. But for real, though, director Malcolm D. Lee, who did The Best Man, which is a very funny movie, good movie, and Girls Trip, which is also a very good, funny movie. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay. I'm surprised this movie didn't make money. Now I kind of want to see what the heck happened.
Yeah,
here.
It was actually between that and War Inc. as my first pick. So all right.
Okay. Yeah. So Samuel L. Jackson, Bernie Mac, R.I.P. Miss you so much, Bernie. I'm excited to watch this movie. I've never seen it
Same.
before, and I'm stunned that it didn't make money considering the talent behind in front of it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it did make money. I just didn't know.
I'd never really heard of it, so.
I think I definitely saw the trailer at some point, but yeah. I don't
Got
remember
one on
anything else,
me.
but I'm excited to see it.
All right, man.
So that's all I got.
Cool.
Yep.
That is it for us. Please show your support for the podcast by leaving a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, where you happen to listen to the show. Also, sharing is caring. Be sure to follow us on social media to get the latest show updates. You can contact us by emailing at filmbrochamp@gmail.com or find us by searching for the hashtag FilmBroChamp. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Film Bro Championship Podcast. Peace out, everyone.
Fuck off, donut.